Go Blue, everyone. Connor Stalions speaks out on X, recruiting rankings, and Michigan, number 7 in the country for NIL. It's all coming up next on Michigan Wolverines Live. Let's get it. Go Blue, everyone. My name's John D'Adamo. Today's Tuesday, July 15th, 2025. It's the 208th episode of Michigan Wolverines Live, and you can catch us on YouTube. You can catch us on Twitch. You can catch us on X, and we sound good on radio also. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, iHeart. Check us out on your commute and leave a rating or review. Also, as you join us, go ahead and hit that like button. Hitting the like button is free. It just takes a second, and it pushes the video up so more people can watch our content. Subscribe, hit the bell, and of course, share this YouTube link right now. If you haven't yet, go do it now. Take the YouTube link, share it with a friend, share it with a message board, share it with the Discord chat. I saw Moose shared it on X. I appreciate everybody doing that so we can help grow this thing up. And finally, send us a super chat because that's how your comment, your question is going to be on screen. And that does it for me. Let's go ahead and bring out TJ in the house for another exciting episode. Back on our normal time. Here we go.
Let's go, bro. Loaded show. A lot of good stuff to talk about. Recruiting's getting interesting. We got some updates there. Looking forward to that. And a lot of spicy topics. I got one on Connor Stalions I cannot wait to hit on. We are going to be taking shots at a few people. You may know them. We will be naming names. And let's do the damn thing, bro.
Facts. And Blue Wolverine with the Stalions emojis, of course. Kenji Davis in the house. Moose. Kenji saying, I love Tuesdays. So do I. Absolutely. And of course, we've got Stalions Express. Perfect name for today's show.
Good.
B-Dub, a.k.a. Bull, in the house saying, John, where's the meatloaf? When we're 1 minute late, we say we get a where's the meatloaf? So that one time I was like 5 minutes early, it threw him off the other time. So thanks, everybody, for joining us. And, of course, Moose here with a really great comment that I want to put up on the screen. Moose is reminding everybody that they can be a member. You can be a member, get the emojis. You see everybody throwing the Stalions emojis out there. At the $4.99 level, you to our members only show, which is coming up next week. So stay tuned for that. Probably next Monday would be the third of the month, but we'll make sure that works for everybody. And at the $9.99 level, of course, that is the level endorsed by the man himself, Connor Stalions.
What's up, guys? Connor Stalions here. Appreciate you for being a part of the highest tier, the Connor Stalions team. Appreciate you. Go Blue. We need you dialed in this year. We got to make another deep run into March, ideally into April this year. Go Blue. And also, we're going for 5 in a row against the Buckeyes in football. And let's get back in the playoffs and win this thing again. Go Blue. Keep being great.
Keep being great.
Man. That's it, baby. And we will, damn it.
Absolutely.
You're goddamn right we will.
And in the TikTok, you're going to see all the Connor Stalions members that have signed up, including quite a few recently, the last few weeks. Bull has been a member for 13 months.
Crazy.
Thank you so much, Bull. Yo, like the video. Best damn Michigan show, period.
This relationship is getting serious at 13 months, man. I'm just saying.
We've been doing memberships for 13 months. That's
crazy.
Blowing my mind right now.
Day one, bro. I think we launched them 13 months ago. So
A1 since day one. Tom Bouchard gifting a Those Who Stay Will Be Champions membership to Jason Stone. So congratulations, Jason, for 30 free days of Those Who Stay, which means you're going to get access to our members only stream. You get emojis, all that good stuff, courtesy of Tom Bouchard. Thank you so much, Tom, for that. Always coming in the clutch with memberships for everybody. And then Lance with 8 months of membership, go blue. So everybody, y'all rock. That's a lot of months, 8 months, 13 months. Thank you.
Thank you, Lance. Thank you.
Okay, let's dive in. We got some news from On3, which is very exciting stuff, that essentially Michigan is tied for 7th in the country in NIL spending alongside USC. So the only people ahead are Texas, Texas Tech, Ohio State, Oregon, Texas A&M, and Miami. And then it's Michigan and USC. And we're actually ahead of Tennessee and Auburn, which spend quite a bit in NIL money, and obviously, the SEC money with both of those. This is massive, and make no mistake about it. This is Ellison. This is Sean McGee. This is the culmination of what happened with the House bill and the resolution with that. It's a bunch of factors coming together, but I just have to say, hats off to Sean McGee. Hats off to Sharon Moore. Hats off to the revisions that have happened. I mean, I say this a lot. When Mark Rogers and I were talking about this last night on the watch party, I started hosting this show like two years ago, a little over 2 years ago. And if you had told me then Michigan would be one of the biggest spenders in college football, I'd be like, that's what we should be. But for whatever reason, it's transformational, not transactional, and all of this. Well, now 2 years later, Michigan is in its rightful place in the top 10, TJ.
Yeah, and and Moose makes his point, says we should be higher. I mean, look, we're not done. Michigan's not done. There's actually some very encouraging things in the future here for Michigan in terms of NIL. I mean, like, the reality is Michigan just got started in September. They're now playing with the big boys. They were doing some modest spending prior to September, but then they opened the checkbooks thanks to the Ellisons and other donors. It's not just the Ellisons, but Ellisons are obviously the main face. But yeah, man, I mean, it's great to be a bag school. It's great to be a bag school. And I'm going to take a little victory lap, not on this show, but I've had some debates. John. I've had some debates about prior to Michigan getting into NIL spending, right, and playing the game. And this is when we were behind, when War Manual wasn't budging and the regions weren't budging and all of that. I debated so many, not on this show either, but on Twitter and other message boards, etc. I have debated so many damn posters, bro, defending Michigan. Michigan will never spend money. They will never buy kids. They're transformational, not transactional. They're not Michigan men. They're just chasing bags. Well, you know what the irony is, John? And by the way, if you find yourself as a fan and you're now in this position, and don't get me wrong, we all have the right to evolve opinions. And this is not a shot at you, but it is damn sweet to see some of the individuals I've debated with years past absolutely excited to bag some of these 5 stars and 4 stars in Carter Meadows, because the fight that so many fans put up, and I'm sure there's I see it in the comments, facts. I'm sure there's a lot of fans who were debating other Michigan fans who say things like, Michigan will never be a bag school. They're beyond that. This is better than holier than thou mentality. Well, the reality is, and I have stressed this, you adapt or you die, and that is industry. That is industry. That's business 101, baby. If you are not evolving with the competition, you are a blockbuster. Okay. And Michigan, thankfully got it together. And now they're playing with the big boys. And what's also interesting about this graphic, John, you don't see Alabama and you don't see Georgia. Okay. And then to Matt Miller's point, who is a Texas fan, the oil schools, your Texas Techs, your A&Ms, your Texas, it's interesting to not see Oklahoma because that is a bit of an oil school, but they don't have and I've talked to some Oklahoma fans who are somewhat intertwined in Oklahoma athletics. They just don't have the demographics in terms of the population, and they don't have as much oil money as some of these other schools who are literally centered in Texas. Now, what is also interesting about this, John, I'll let you go next.
Yeah.
Texas Tech is saying they are paying a 30% premium on players because of their location, which is bullshit. If anyone saw my tweet today, I was calling it out. No, you're paying a 30% premium because you're not good. You're not because you're trying to play with the big boys. That's what's happening. So let's call out the bullshit there. But very good to see. Listen, Michigan, in my opinion, is a top 5 NIL school. They're not done. They're not done. So I mean, it's great to see. Good to see we're on the right path, and Michigan is not done.
Yeah. When you go 8, when 8 and 5 is a good year. 7 and 6. I mean, this is a school that they tend to have 7, 6, 8 and 5. That's their floor and their ceiling. It seems like recently. So yeah, in order to drum up the excitement, they've got to pay a premium, and that's why they went out and they got Felix Ojo for $5.1 million reportedly over 3 years. Absolutely insane for a non-quarterback to be getting that kind of money. Texas, I will say, did get 2. They went up the rankings quite a bit today. Matt Miller talking about it. 2 5-stars. Sark looking Kirby smart in the eye and taking his players. Look, that's how the game is played in 2025. So, got to get with the program.
Yeah, and the other thing too, I think we should hit on before we move on, and just so Matt knows, we're going to be talking about Texas in the recruiting update, by the way. But Ohio State fans who are bitching and whining and complaining like Ohio State fans do. Oh, well, we gotta get our NIL together. Oh, we're getting outbidded. The reality is you have so much money allocated to your roster. You only have so much money per cycle, you clowns. They just don't understand how this shit works, bro. Like, they don't realize it's not infinite money. You have a budget per year, a budget per cycle, and so much is allocated to roster retainment, and so much is allocated to one cycle. And that's where Ohio State finds itself. This is why Ohio State has right now, how many commits do they have? They are pretty maxed out. They cannot outbid everybody once you get to the end of your end of your class. So Ohio State has 21 kids. Okay, they're in the range of probably adding 3 to 6 more kids. There's only so much money left. You're not going to blow it on. You're not going to blow the rest of your money on a Luke Wolf, right? I'm sorry, not Luke Wolf, Luke Wafel. So like it's something that, like, it's funny to watch the Ohio State fans cry about NIL when it's quite clear they have been buyers in buying roster talent and acquiring talent beyond legal NIL. But you still find that fan base crying today, even though they have a top 5 class, for not having enough NIL, John.
Mason Graham said it best. Ohio State pussy.
That's facts, bro. It's fucking
facts. Mason Graham said it best, and I gotta say, I rewatched today the 13-10 Michigan victory, and it still feels just as good as it did in November. But that ending when they got so upset because Michigan just did what they do when they win in Columbus, and they tried to plant that flag, and they got so butthurt that somebody did an act of Congress to try to get flag planting banned as like a felony. This NIL thing is yet another example of the softness in the program, despite winning a natty.
They are, and forgive me, you know who you are. Somebody posted on Twitter, and it was one of the topics I was in. They are the spoiled kid who doesn't get their way. They cry about it because they are so used to, and here's a compliment, being elite and essentially winning 10 wins at minimum. Okay. They are so used to that. They think it's fucking, it's just supposed to happen. And if it doesn't happen, it's everybody else's fault but their own. Okay. And if they happen to lose a recruiting battle, okay, which, by the way, everyone has money now. It's not just you in the Big Ten who has money now, or buying players, you know. It's because the playing field has evened for these guys, but they can't even grasp it. They think Ohio State should just win every recruitment, win every game, because that's just the way it is. It's Ohio State. No, the reality is you had a hell of a competitive advantage for 20 effing years. Yes, you did win prior to, I would argue, I mean, who knows? I don't know what happened in the 80s. I've just heard from 90s on, Ohio State has always been a bit of a bag school. I'm sure in the 80s, who knows? But the reality is, the playing field has now evened and the gap is closing. And I've said this before, John, when you have the big 5 schools in the Big Ten, because it really is the big 5, you got Oregon, you got USC, you got Michigan, you got Ohio State, you got Penn State. Washington is a distant 6, but they're doing their thing. They got a 5-star. Yeah, I fully believe Ohio State is going to get a reality check. I don't think they realize, I don't think their fans realize yet that with the college football playoff, with the ability for all these schools to now buy players, and not just the SEC, not just Ohio State in the Big Ten, but everybody, right? Look at this list. You got Texas Tech. You got Miami, USC, you got Auburn here, which is interesting to see Auburn, by the way. But at the end of the day, I think Ohio State's going to get a bit of a reality check this decade. I think this decade, they're going to realize, oh, that was a good run. I don't think it's going to be like that anymore. Now, I'm not saying they're going to fall off a cliff. They're still going to be a college football playoff contender, yes, but they will not have that gap of dominance that they had prior to getting their face stomped in by Michigan the last 4 years.
When Michigan flipped Bryce Underwood for $10.5 million, I raced home as quickly as I could. I had people remember that show. I had my suit on still, and I raced in there to try to celebrate, because this was a massive tectonic shift that took place when securing Bryce Underwood. That is what put Michigan in the big leagues, because that just doesn't happen 2 years ago. That doesn't happen 5 years ago. That doesn't happen. That happens because Michigan is finally playing ball with everyone else. And now look out.
Yes. 100%, man. And in Michigan, the beautiful thing about it is we know Michigan still has plenty in the resource, right? Michigan, we know with the Calvin Russell situation, there was a lot of money allocated there. Well, which we'll get into in the recruiting update, that we are seeing a push for linebackers, okay? And potentially some other players, which we'll get into in the recruiting update. That's very exciting. So, yes, Michigan's in a great position. I am very excited to see I am so excited to see how they close out the year. Are we going to see some flips in those final 2 to 3 months of that signing day? I think we will. I think Michigan's going to be aggressive, but we're going to find out. I'm excited. The good news for us is Michigan is a bag school, and they're not, you know what else I love? They're not shy about it. I will say this, though. As Michigan fans, the House bill that someone's trying to pass, I can't remember who it was, where they're trying to really, oh, that's another thing, too. Let's hit on this, John, while we're on it. How effing funny is it? And yes, I'm going to name Garrison's name, and he's not the only one. And I'm going to name his name later, too. But he knows I love him. I love Gary. He's my boy. They want checks and balances now. How funny is it? They want checks and balances in college football now. The SEC, Ohio State. Oh, no. Here comes the Ellisons. And now you want checks and balances because now you're not the only one buying kids. Now there's probably 20 to 30 schools that are buying kids. Yes, there's 10 who are buying more than others. But the reality is, it's gotten fairer, and they don't like it. So now they want checks and balances because they know. I feel Buckeyes know. Oh shit! I think in the back of their mind, like, oh shit, we're losing these top recruitments. We're losing. Like they're catching ground on us. Texas Tech is outspending us. Love it. I love it. I'm all for it. So just as Michigan fans, I'm just going to you guys know right now, whenever you see these House bills or this regulation on college football, we want free market. Free market. The ability for players to not be limited in their earnings is good for Michigan. You know why? Because Michigan is willing to do what it needs to do to get the players it needs to get. We saw that with Bryce Underwood. We saw that with the number one transfer portal player in basketball, and Yaxel Landenborg. Dusty May has said it publicly. We are the flipping Yankees and Dodgers, because we are. So let's enjoy this fucking run. Hail the free market and F any regulation on college football, which, by the way, if they were to pass that House bill, it would be challenged in court. Collectives have already made some comments about how it's just you're limiting player earnings, players, agents. There'll be a lot of people who will be against that. The only way, in my opinion, that there is some type of cap and true structure is if there is a collective bargaining agreement and a college football commissioner. As long as that don't happen, we should be fine. Now, I will say this. If we are on an even playing field, I do think Michigan will still do very well because we have something schools don't have and you can't regulate. That is the academic prestige. It doesn't matter what school it is. They don't have that. So Michigan is playing with house money and we're doing damn well at it.
Yeah, I think it's hilarious that a school that had Urban what'll it take to come to this school, Meyer, and the SEC with Alabama and Nick Saban and the post-game handshakes with envelopes. I mean, these people were paying players 20 years ago. Well, and McDonald's bags being thrown around, and now everyone else can also pay their players. So it's just the fact they want checks and balances now that other schools can also pay alongside them. Now that Michigan, a little bit more fair.
Now that Michigan's got a gun, and I want to hit on this comment from Richie Buckeye Dubs.
Yeah,
he goes, "What advantage?" Laugh out loud, TJ. What advantage did innocent little Ohio State, what could they possibly have an advantage on the last 25 years? Brother, I hate to break it to you, but you've been buying players for the last 25 years. You've been playing by SEC rules in a Big Ten conference that does not play SEC rules. Now we are all playing SEC rules. And it's a big reason why you guys have lost 4 straight and looking to lose a 5th. And it's another reason why the Big Ten hierarchy is shifting. Now, you guys are still an elite player. No one discounts that. You're still a power program. That's true, but there are a lot more now. And the playing field has evened, my friend. So good luck. You're going to need it.
Yeah, that is hilarious. What advantages when literally Ohio State players have come out and said, yeah, we got paid. I got paid more at Ohio State than I get in the UFL now. I saw that comment above, but there are others like that. They were getting paid. They were getting cars. Yeah. There were lots of kind of shady backroom things going on there, and it wasn't just Ohio State. It was the SEC. It was Alabama. It was Georgia. It was, the top schools in the SEC were doing it too. But absolutely, Ohio State was the one, and so now Michigan can do it too.
In a conference that wasn't doing. That's the other thing too. Like, okay, in the SEC, you got other schools. There was a lot of schools playing that game. In the Big 12, Texas and Oklahoma were playing that game. In the Big 10, it was just Ohio State playing that game. So, and the ACC, like, if anyone thinks Clemson's rise to dominance in the 2010s was because Dabo Swinney's just a great coach, you're out of your mind. Ask Rashawn Gary how much he was offered. Bullshit, bro. The reason why those 4 schools, Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, Clemson, and we'll put Oklahoma in there even though they got their ass kicked in the playoffs. The reason why those were the schools that were at the cream of the crop is because they were throwing McDonald's bags before Tennessee was. Come on, get out of here. Listen to the quote from the Valdosta coach. very prestigious high school, one of the most prestigious high schools in Georgia, talk about Nick Saban and Kirby Smart and what they're doing with players. That's on YouTube. Go find it. Get out of here.
We have a message from Doreen, who had her debut the other night for College Football After Dark. Her and Minnie had a great show. I was listening back to it. And congrats on joining the Voice of College Football officially. Also a member for 12, count 'em, 12 months.
Yes.
TJBW, I'm guessing that's Blue Wolverine. Eric, Johnny, M3, appreciate y'all. JG Moose. Yeah. Two. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, for those who don't know, is Doreen has a show now. Doreen is now a part of a podcast called College Football After Dark. It's risque. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's a fun show though. You know, give her a follow. Sunday nights, 9:00 Eastern, I believe. Looking forward to that. The first show, that was fun. That was cool. Let's see what they could do with it though. I'm excited. And listen, I didn't get Doreen to flip to Michigan yet. We're not done. But we did get her to join the Voice of College Football. And we're very excited. You know, it should be fun. The point of that show is a fun, enjoyable, entertaining, show that I think Minnie and Doreen are going to crush. I think they're going to be just fine. I'm excited about. They're both fun, lovely ladies, and it should be a good time, man. Yeah,
and they know their football, and that's the key. Like they both have a lot of football knowledge.
The beauty of it is they love college football. Like they love it. And it's from a female perspective. So I mean there's that as well, but it's fun. It's nice. And it's I think it's a nice refreshing difference in the network. So I'm excited about it and we're looking forward to it.
Me too. Aside from that, we also have, of course, encouraging everybody to sponsor. If you have a business, a product, a service, a personal brand, you can sponsor and benefit from the Voice of College Football Network and the many enthusiastic college football fans. The season is coming close, so contact us now to talk about August and September inventory. Sponsorships at vocfb.com. Got a few conversations in the works. And would love to add some more. And we do have some spaces available. So definitely consider that. And also our Voice of College Football website. So check that out. And I love it. I say this every time, but I love about the website is that you can see the entire day's schedule right there. You can see articles that you need to kind of keep in mind. One today about Lane Kiffin and Nick Saban, kind of thinking that Nick Saban might coach again for one more run. So that's an interesting article. Texas picking up the 5 stars. We were talking about that earlier. So just get yourself caught up on not just Michigan, but other teams across college football.
Yes.
Okay, it's time, folks. You all love it, and I misspelled Abrams. I'm going to change that. But it's time for the recruiting update, and we do have some updates on both directions. People who haven't signed yet, people who have signed, and other schools are after them. There's all kinds of stuff going on here. TJ, let's start with, of course, the guy who still hasn't picked his date yet. Yeah. But I'd love to hear what you might know about Savion Hyder and where that is.
Yeah, so we all know kind of the jewel of the class is Savion Hyder, big time player, number 1 running back in the nation. So he put out a tweet this past week, commitment date coming soon. We're still waiting. We are still waiting. We do not know the date yet, but as it stands, July 15th, 8:34 p.m., we are the leader right now for Savion Hyder. Tennessee is in this. I don't know if he's going to be committing at the end of July or early August. That has been the plan. Interested to see where it goes. But the good news is Michigan has done an excellent job in this recruitment. Michigan has been considered the leader since January. That has not faded. There's been some schools who have made some pushes like Tennessee. But at the end of the day, Michigan has been the continuous leader, and we add him to the class, boys. That is going to be one to celebrate. Fully intend on doing a commitment watch party, fully intend on having a very good day party. We're going to have a good ass time. Now, this is recruiting, so we'll see how it goes. We saw how Calvin Russell went. Things happen. But at the end of the day, as it stands, we're looking like we're in a great position. Let's talk about the next player who is committed to Michigan, Malachi Lee. If our boy Matthew Miller is in the chat, he'll like this update.
Yeah.
Texas is pushing. Texas is trying to flip them because they are looking to add one more tackle to the class. Malachi Lee is somebody they are targeting. We're going to have to see how this one plays out. As it stands right now, there doesn't appear to be the only thing that is known is that Texas is going to attempt something there. They're going to continue communicating with them until signing day. And we're going to have to see how that one plays out. The good news is, obviously, he's committed to Michigan. Michigan is committed to him. I do feel Michigan's willing to do an NIL battle with Texas. And because this was their number one tackle to begin with. They have put so much time and resource into Malachi Lee. But this is something we're going to have to monitor because as you guys saw that graphic, Texas is the largest spender in college football right now. So something to monitor. I just think it's something we should bring to our attention. It could be nothing. At the end of the day, Malachi Lee, at the end of the day, could be like, you know what? I love Michigan. I'm happy here. But the word is that Texas is going to make a run. We'll see how that one goes. We will definitely keep everyone updated on that as it goes. Next player we're going to talk about is Nick Abrams, who is committing tomorrow.
Woo.
This is a Georgia, Oregon, Michigan battle. This is an NIL battle. All three schools are pushing as we speak, even though the word is Georgia has the lead right now.
Mm-hmm.
All three schools until tomorrow are going to be pushing. And who knows if anyone's going to pull a Syracuse 5 minutes before an announcement and get a deal done. So there is a watch party scheduled for this channel tomorrow, I believe at 4:45, I believe. I will be attempting to make it, but we'll see. I do have obligations earlier in the day. I'm gonna attempt to make that one though, because at this time I really don't know. Word is Georgia is gonna, not word, but Georgia has the lead right now, but Michigan is still pushing. Oregon is still pushing. It's not finalized. We're gonna find out probably tomorrow. We'll learn more. But it's something we're definitely monitoring. Nick Abrams is the linebacker that Michigan is most aggressive with right now.
Yeah.
And we're gonna see. I mean, Michigan's really pushing here, but we do have two other linebackers we're going to talk about. The other linebacker we're going to talk about is DK Forkba. Michigan is the reason he delayed his commitment. He was going to announce last week. He has decided. Or if it wasn't last week, it was earlier this week, something like that. Regardless, he has decided to push this into the fall, into the season. And Michigan is the reason that was a delayed announcement. So, like we kind of talked about, if you watched our show, that's the thing, dude. Like, we really have a pulse on this shit because I was like, with Calvin Russell, there's more resources now. Mm-hmm. Once even I said that, then like a day later, Brian John Marie puts out the damn Night King on Twitter. Like Brian John Marie's up to some shit. Like Brian John Marie, he hears Moose.
He hears Moose. He hears the smoke in general.
Michigan 23, he hears you because he put that Night King graphic out there, bro.
Yeah.
But regardless, point is DK Fork was the other one, and he's looking to announce into the season. I do my opinion on this because there's another linebacker, which John, we should pull up the huddle tape for DK Forkba.
Yeah, yep. Mm-hmm.
My opinion is this is how I think this is playing out. Now, this is opinion. I believe Nick Abrams is their top target right now. They have Markel Dabney, he's already in the class. This is DK Forkba, very athletic linebacker, runs a 4.5 at like 220. Look at his speed.
The speed.
I'm all in on some DK Forkba. Get me DK Forkba.
Tough, physical.
I'm not DQ. But I want him, bro. Like this dude's a dog.
Oh, snap. Yeah, his speed, his ability to just close on these players, that's exactly what we're looking for. And yes, Michigan being the cause of why he delayed his commitment. That's very notable.
Bro, you know who he reminds me of? But he's kind of an old school linebacker. He reminds me of Stephen Tolik, who played for the Tennessee Titans. Then he went to the Lions. He was a dog. They have that same like aggression, you know. I'm telling you right now, if we could somehow pull Abrams and Forkba with Markel Dabney, start writing your letters to Brian Jean-Marie. Use a quail pen because you need to apologize. But at the end of the day, I feel we're gonna get Forkba as it stands, just because Michigan has made him delay. Michigan's pushing very aggressively with NIL. The Abram one, I'm unsure. I'm unsure because we have two bag schools who are aggressively pursuing Abrams and his decisions tomorrow. Now, just because he makes a decision, which we're going to talk about another player later, it doesn't mean it's over, because it's not. But it's very interesting. Now, the next player we're going to talk about.
Well, real quick, I just want to mention on that one play here, he was a Jedi master waiting for what the offense was going to do, and then he attacked exactly where he needed to. Just perfect. Like he has the speed, he has the intensity, he has the physicality, but something that you don't see as often at this level is the patience. And to have all of that together is impressive.
Yes, especially for his age, right? I mean, it's something that's gained with experience and reps, and he's a very good player, man. I like him. I'm all in. I'm all in on Forkba. So let's hope we can land him as the season progresses. All in. Next player we're going to talk about is Anthony Davis. Now, here's why this is interesting. It does feel like, and I don't know this, so we're in assumption mode again, okay? But it does feel like Anthony Davis is the plan B to Abrams. Okay? So I think we have the Anthony Davis, we have the Anthony Davis huddle tape also, John.
Yeah.
We could pull that up.
Mm-hmm.
So with Anthony Davis, this is actually another good linebacker, though. This is not, look, I put Abrams and Forkba ahead of Davis, but in my opinion, Davis is another good linebacker. So I don't feel like here's what I feel. I think Brian Jean-Marie is going to have a good class. I do. I think Michigan is going to figure out this linebacker position this cycle. I think we need to just have some patience here, but it does appear that, to me, Davis is the plan B to Abrams, and Michigan is looking to have three linebackers in this class with Dabney, Forkba, and either Abrams or Davis. So at the end of the day, though, these are all very good linebackers. I'm happy with all of them. I really am. Now, do we have the Junior Colson of this class? No. But all three of these dudes have high ceiling potentials. All athletic, very strong, very quick, very agile linebackers. I mean, look at this kid's speed. Look at his closing speed. I mean, he's got some freaking speed to him, man. I mean, he's got that sideline. Look at his closing speed. I mean, it's crazy. So we're good.
He's wrapping up better than USC did for years on defense.
Shit, he should go coach USC. But so in my opinion, we need to have some patience, because I've had some people, and this is not a shot at you, it's all love, you know this. Some people tagging me a little concerned about Brian Jean-Marie. My word is patience here. I think he's going to have a pretty good class. If he can land two of the three, Abrams, Forkba, or Davis, it's good. We're good. It's fucking legit. So I'm happy. I'm very content with the way this is shaping up right now. And it is, and listen, I don't think it's a coincidence that, the Calvin Russells and then now the buzz with all these linebackers, not a coincidence. I think, honestly, Michigan had resources structured for certain position groups, and I think Brian Jean-Marie had to be in patience mode, as what I think. Now, again, that's an assumption. I'm not bullshitting nobody there, but it appears, the way it looks, it looks like that. So it does appear that Michigan at least has a green light in linebacker recruiting right now.
Yeah, and again, really the only thing I've said about Brian Jean-Marie is like he's the weak link right now. Like, yes. I'm not saying he's particularly awful, but now where it stands, he's the weak link. But he has three opportunities here. to build it up, and he has plans, backup plans to his start. He's got his first string plan and he's got his second string plan. So we'll see how it goes. But now he's got, I think, a little bit more resources to kind of focus on closing some of these.
Yes, and look, it's a true statement. What position group is lacking the most this cycle? Who is the head of that position? It is Brian Jean-Marie. But the cycle's not over. The movie is not over. One of my favorite things, philosophically speaking, is when people like to rush to judgment before the completion of a saga or the completion of a cycle. Patience is key here, my friends. Just have some patience. Let's see how Michigan shakes this out. I really feel that we're going to be happy at the end of the cycle. And I'll tell you right now too, if Michigan somehow pulls a rabbit out of the hat tomorrow and lands Abrams, that's a big deal. But if it happens, we'll talk about it because it'll be a commitment show. And, obviously I'll do a player analysis video. But let's see what the boys can do. Let's give some trust. Let's give some support to Brian Jean-Marie. I'll tell you right now, the fact that Brian Jean-Marie put out the Night King tweet is savage as fuck. And he just gained 50 cool points to me. So I'm a big fan of Brian Jean-Marie again. So let's see what he can do. Let's support him.
Yeah, TJ has been won over by the Night King graphic.
Hey, if your gift game is strong, I'm a fan. I love a good gift game, bro. All right, then the next player we're going to talk about, and I see Matthew Miller typing away. Watch out for Texas. Watch out for Texas.
I don't know.
Fucking Texas. Devon Benjamin, number 1 cornerback in the nation. This currently looks like a Game of Thrones battle. You have the House of the Ellisons and the House of the Knights, and they're going to war right now. And it's fun to watch. It's really fun to watch 2 power bag schools go at it. And that's what this is. This is an NIL recruitment. Michigan has come very aggressively here. A decision date is expected at the end of summer, so sometime in August. And we're going to find out. But it appears Michigan has made a very aggressive play here. I think it was 2 weeks ago. The word was Michigan had the larger NIL offer. I am not sure where Oregon stands now. I am not sure if Oregon has countered to the point of matching or exceeding Michigan. I'm not sure at this current time. But what I do know is Michigan's not done. They're willing to continue to play ball. And we're going to see where this goes. Major recruitment here, okay? Go on.
His versatility, he can play safety, he can play nickel, or he can play corner. He is an extremely versatile athlete, and we could really use him.
He is what I like to term, and I've not seen anybody say this, so all credit to me. I'm just kidding. But Jabril Peppers light is what he's.
I do remember that. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I really believe that, man. And he'd be a freaking hell of an addition to this. That defensive line. Oh my God, bro. With Dorian Barney and Andre Clark. And if we get the next guy we're about to talk about, who we all know I love Jordan Deck. We're about to talk about Jordan Deck. Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude, like this is serious. Listen, Devon Benjamin is in the hold on Jordan Deck. Devon Benjamin is in the class of Savion Hyder, Carter Meadows, and Calvin F.U. Russell. Wait, let's not get, we saw what happened to Moose. Moose took some bullets on that one, but all love Moose. But at the end of the day, reality is Devon Benjamin is a big time player. Let's see if Michigan can land that, because if they can, we're doing another party. We're gonna do back-to-back parties. We got Savion Hyder, we got Devon Benjamin. We're gonna be partying. So let's see how that one goes. Let's see how it plays out. We got some time there, but Michigan is making an aggressive play. Now to one of my favorite players. I thought he was gone, John. I thought he was gone. I cried. I'm not gonna lie, I shed a tear. I'll admit it. I was very sad when Baylor landed. Jordan, break your face, Deck. Look at him. Oh, you just died, bro. Oh. Y'all want to see a dead body? Watch Jordan Deck highlights. Jordan Deck is that dude. I'm a huge fan of Jordan Deck. One of my cycle crushes. You watch us,
He goes for it every single time.
Even though Jordan Deck has committed to Baylor, Michigan says, I don't care. I will steal your girl. So Michigan is making a very aggressive play right now as we speak. As we speak right now, for Jordan Deck to flip him in the class back to Michigan. And I absolutely love it because this was my Marquise Davis of the cycle. Marquise Davis was the running back, not this cycle, but the cycle prior, who I absolutely was in love with. Went to Kentucky. Then he goes to freaking Missouri at the end of the cycle. And now, he's gone. Jordan Deck was another one. So was Travis Johnson. I've had a few crushes this cycle, but Jordan Deck is one of my favorite players, and I feel fits the identity and exactly what we are looking for on the back end of this defense. And when you have a safety who can play on the back end, come up and stop the run, fill the gap, this kid is all around. I feel he's actually a special player. I think he should be ranked higher. And if Michigan can land him, it's just going to make this defense that's already, we know the defensive line is elite. It's elite. You add these potential line, just envision this with me. This elite defensive line with adding a Forkba, with a Dabney, and maybe an Abrams, but if not an Abrams, then a Davis. And then you have on your back end, Andre Clark, Dorian Barney, Jordan Deck, and dare I say, Devon Benjamin. Oh my God, bro. Like I'm gonna be through the fucking roof. I will be through the fucking roof, bro. We might even do a 24-hour stream. I'm serious, bro. That's epic. So
talk about Game of Thrones. That's the whole army of the dead right there.
Bro. I'm just saying, like, and its potential, like, and that's the thing, like, this isn't like some people make these unrealistic class projections. No, this is realistic. This is highly probable, actually. Or highly probable. It's probable. I don't want to say highly probable, but it's probable. And Michigan is either 1 or 2 on all of these guys. And Michigan's very aggressive here. They are looking to end this class very strong. And I'm going to tell you, man, if they can do that, and you can add Savion Hyder on that offense with these wide receivers, I mean, like, guys, I'm so serious about a national title in the next 3 years. This is how you do it. You freaking load up on both ends of these defense. I'm gonna tell you, Wink ain't going anywhere, bro. Wink is the 5th highest defensive coordinator in all of football. No NFL team is going to. I should probably watch my mouth, because watch him like have the #1 defense this year, and then I don't know, maybe the Chargers, maybe Jim Harbaugh steals another one right after Jesse Minter gets a head coaching job. I don't know, but like, point being is, we appear to be in a position of long-term sustainability. And with these kids we're bringing in, Michigan is going to be a effing juggernaut. So I'm just excited. I'm amped up. I love where this class is heading right now.
Yeah, don't put that evil on us, Ricky Bobby. We gotta keep Winky around. But yeah, I mean, listen, I think Michigan has been on an absolute tear in the recruiting trail. Obviously the Calvin Russell whiff was still great for Voice College football, because we had like 90,000 people checking this out across all of the channels. But still, Michigan picking up some major pickups on offense, on defense, and could very well still be a top 5 to 7 class, which would be incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking Michigan could potentially get in that 4 to 6 range. If all the dominoes fall, like I just played out, 4 to 6. Now, there is some buzz, but this was not me. So I want to be mindful, because it wasn't me, but there is some buzz that Michigan might not be done on the offensive side of the ball. We'll see on that. That's to be determined. I'm going to let that one play out, but it's not my intel at all. So I'm going to lay low on it for now, but there is some buzz that Michigan might not be done on the offensive side of the ball. So let's see how that one plays out. But very exciting the way this class is trending.
Blue Wolverine is also showing up on Twitch. So starting the Twitch gang here. And I can't mod you this second, Blue, but yeah, we can do that. We can
wait, is Blue Wolverine not a mod?
I think so.
Wait, is he saying for Twitch, or is he saying in general?
I think for Twitch.
Okay.
I think he
we'll
is.
figure that one out.
Yeah. All right, y'all. We do have a couple of super chats, so let's go. I want to make sure I don't miss anybody here. Okay, let's start with Fitty12.
Great question.
Fitty12 with the $4.99. What school gets hurt the most if there is NIL regulation, and is it Texas?
No. If there is NIL, this is, quote me, I'm not wrong what I'm about to say. If there is NIL regulation, put this in a fucking book, because I promise you I'm right. The schools that are hurt are the schools like us who will not break rules in terms of recruit. I know someone's like, oh, Connor Stalions, shut up. The schools in the SEC, the Ohio States, or the others who have already been playing illegal NIL games, okay, prior to NIL being legal, those schools will continue to push those areas. Michigan, on the other hand, will go back to playing by the rules in terms of recruiting and NIL. So the schools that would be hurt the most are the schools who do not play outside of the gray areas in terms of recruiting. Okay, Buckeyes, you're not holier than thou. You play outside of the gray areas on recruiting. Get over it. Many schools do. It is what it is. But so that's who would get hurt. We would be hurt a lot. I do not believe Michigan would continue the aggressive NIL if there was, let's say, a very hard cap that was very regulated. If that was the case, I feel Michigan would go back to it's limiting recruiting position where other schools would still be thriving because they're playing effing ball. So we don't want it. Like I said earlier, Miami's still going to play dirty, boys. I'm going to tell you that right now. Miami will still play dirty. Ohio State, yes, Richie Dubs, will still play dirty. You were before it was legal. You think you're going to stop once it gets regulated again? No, you're not. You're the SEC in the North. We all know it. You know it. You're just in denial. But so that's just the reality of it. So the teams that would be hurt here are the ones that obey the rules. Like, another school that would be hurt from it probably would be the Penn States, the Notre Dames, like those schools who do play by the rules. Like, Notre Dame, they just got their NIL together. That wasn't something that was popping. Like, that wasn't something that was going a year and a half ago. The only thing they were doing was player salaries. They weren't even doing the payments like they are now. Now they are. So, so it's like that, but then the others, you'll still have your Tennessees and your Ole Misses and your A&Ms and your Texases. They don't give a fuck, dude. No. They don't care. They, to be quite frank, and we've already seen it. We've already seen Tennessee and Texas say, hey, NCAA, put this rule in place and we are going to challenge you at the state level in court. So that's just where we are. It was nice to see, though. Michigan actually did something very recently about they actually put out something very recently. And actually okay.
About to pop off, huh?
It's the state of Michigan. Yeah, I just pissed myself off thinking about something. All right. So the state of Michigan put out some a bill where, like, where essentially it cannot be, NIL cannot be regulated by the NCAA. There was a bill recently. Now, there were some Buckeyes, and I've even seen some Michigan fans say, well, if this isn't, whether or not that bill is in place, Michigan will still follow the NCAA. That pisses me off, because those same individuals were the individuals who were saying, oh, Michigan will never pay players. Michigan will never play. By the way, if you are one of those people who said Michigan will never play players, and you've now come to the I would say the force of good, which is yes, they will. Yes, they will. Then salute to you, and I love you. But if you're one of those people who said Michigan will never pay players, and you want to hold that position, and you're bitter about it, you won't acknowledge that you were one of those people who said that dumb shit, well, take another L, because I feel very confidently that with the legislation that the state of Michigan proposed in terms of the NCAA cannot, and I wish I had that bill in front of me, John. Let's see if I can pull it up very quickly.
I remember seeing it.
Yeah, it was Michigan. Let's see if I can pull it up. Whatever. Long story short, though, I feel that Michigan, with that protection by the state legislation, would use it. I was actually arguing with one of the Ohio State. Shit. Oh, here we go. Here it is. Michigan lawmakers push bill to protect college athletes' name, image, and likeness. This bill, Michigan lawmakers are advancing a bill aimed at safeguarding college athletics' rights to earn money from their name, image, and likeness. This seeks to prevent the NCAA and other organizations from capping the earnings of athletes in Michigan through NIL deals.
Let's go.
And then you have a Buckeye. I can't remember his name, but he's on the and this isn't like a shot either, but he's on the show with Mark on Wednesday. What's the name? Who's there's Girdman, and who's the other one? Biddle? Dave Biddle, I think. Is it Dave Biddle?
Tony,
you should know this, John. What the fuck, bro?
Jeez. Yeah. I should know all the hosts. Yeah, but I see their faces. I just can't.
I don't think it's Dave Biddle. I don't know who it is. It's one of them. Whatever. It's one of them. He's like, well, Michigan. They
Kevin
wouldn't
Noon.
Against.
Was it Kevin Noon?
I actually think it was Kevin. Thank you. I think it was Kevin Noon. He goes, I don't think Michigan would go against the NCAA. Okay. Well, our state legislation is protecting us now, so we'll see how that one goes, buddy. But yeah. So at the end of the day, I feel that I just feel that we're in a position now where, like I said, the only way this becomes a problem is if there is a collective bargaining agreement. I don't think Michigan would. I don't. If there was a college football commissioner and a true regulatory body, no, I don't think. But as long as things stay how they are, Michigan is going to remain aggressive.
Yeah, and at least the Michigan legislature is doing something that is very helpful to athletes, as opposed to the Ohio legislature saying flag planting is now a felony. So I actually think that's a little bit more beneficial for player success and livelihood.
Yeah, it is good to see. It is good to see the state back Michigan. We'll just have to see though, man. It's just something we're gonna have to watch as it goes. But the good news is right now we have a green light.
Love to hear it. We have some more here. A triple play from Eric Bedinger, starting with a $1.99. Thank you for that. Then we got a $4.99. Hey guys, can I get a go blue? Go blue, Eric Bedinger.
Go blue, brother. Yeah, go blue. You already know the deal, man.
And then a third one, Eric Bedinger with the 10 burger, counting down the days to my Michigan game. Go blue.
What do we have? 47, 48, 49?
Let's see. New Mexico versus Michigan.
August 31st.
Is August 30th.
I thought it was okay.
So we got 21 days. We got 28 days. We got 30,
46.
35. Yeah.
46, man.
Yeah.
46. Just ask Google. Google will tell you.
Yeah. I almost was there. 46. All right. Well, so we're getting close. I don't know, Eric, if you're going to that one or if you're going to another one, but that's exciting that we're so close to New Mexico versus Michigan. And we'll be working on getting a New Mexico Lobos analyst to come on for the preview. I'm gonna scour the web and see who, because last year we got analysts for pretty much every team that we played, and let's see if we can get somebody from the New Mexico Lobos to come on in and chop it up with us for the New Mexico preview week.
Yeah, I'm sure we can. I love it. I love getting the small school like media, people who cover those teams. It's interesting, man. It's interesting to we've talked about it before. It's just interesting to see somebody who follows a team that does not have the success of some of the bigger brands.
It's true, and we got Blue Wolverine, who just gifted. First of all, welcome. I should have made you a mod a long time ago, but Blue's a mod all over the place. But Blue Wolverine has just gifted 10 Michigan at the Voice of College Football membership. So let's check out who's getting a membership We've got, let's see, we've got Dave's Here. Congrats, Dave's Here, on your Those Who Stay membership. Caleb Kurgan, Isaiah Martinez, Lina Mupston. That sounds made up, but maybe not. Go Blue Wolverine, E.J. Godsball, Frisky, Fowls Howard, Landscapes by Focal Point, and Cubone Daddy 3017. Congrats to all 10 of you for getting a Those Who Stay Will Be Champions 3 days.
Yeah,
and thank you, Blue Wolverine.
Was Blue Wolverine not a mod?
Which was wild. So I was just like,
know.
I did, yeah. Yeah, so we had to fix that because that's Doreen, Blue Wolverine, they're good people. Yes, BW makes it happen. Thank you so much, and hope. Yes, I'm sure we'll. They are random, so people who didn't get them, keep engaging, keep being here, and you never know, you might get one. All right, folks. With that said, we are on to the rankings. So there were some rankings changes that have gone through, and a couple recruiting rankings that will start with some of the positive developments. So Carter Meadows, who we said was an on-3 5-star, at least he was for a while. Well, now Carter Meadows is known as an industry 5-star. He is 5th overall in the country. His rightful place, as far as I'm concerned, Carter Meadows. That's a big one. Travis Johnson's up 6 spots. Julian Walker's up 8 spots. And Alistair Vallejo going from 3-star to 269th overall in the country. We'll just start with some of those. I mean, what do you make of some of the positive changes here? And I think some of these players, based on their film, it makes perfect sense.
That's the point, as we talked about it. That's, again, I hope that's why people come to our show and watch the player analysis videos, because we hit on all that. Like, why is Carter Meadows not an industry 5-star? He should be. We know that. I think it was Rivals or somebody had the rankings where he's in the 200s. Travis Johnson, excellent player, man. I mean, in my opinion, he probably should be in the top 100. I don't think he's 131. I think he is top 100. Now, I would say, 90s, 80s is fair. Julian Walker makes complete sense. He's a freaking savage, dude. And then Alistair Vallejo, still criminally underrated. He is a top 100 prospect. I don't understand. I do. The reason apparently that they are not moving Alistair Vallejo and he may still move up. Like, there's going to be more ranking updates, but it's the level of competition, I guess. Even though he's playing in Texas and all of that, I just whatever. That's a top 100 kid. We all know it. And anyone who watches this film is like, holy shit. Even Rivals, which all respect, I'm honest about your players as well. Yeah, I mean, it's just, it is what it is. At the end of the day, the rankings are not the end all be all, but it's nice to see the players get recognition, Another player, if we're going to talk about some other players, John, unless you got another take on that before we go on from others.
Yeah, no, I just think, every player that's listed here, it makes perfect sense. I said Carter Meadows, absolutely, based on his film, should be a 5-star across the board. And Travis Johnson, I thought, was underranked at where he was. So those two especially made a lot of sense. But everyone on here, but I'd love to talk about some of the others that you have in mind. On the other side, maybe. One
I want to give a shout out to, and somebody that has not gotten a lot of recognition on this channel, I didn't even do a player analysis for, and that is Jonathan Brown, the running back out of, and I think now's a really good time to play his huddle tape. I'll pull it up, John. I should actually have it ready. This is our running back. This is I like to call him the Midnight Assassin, because he committed literally on I want to make sure it's the right height. Yeah, this is him. Yeah, this is him. Okay. I'll pull it up right now. I'd call him Midnight Assassin because he committed literally Saturday night at midnight. This kid just moved up, and he has not gotten enough love. He just moved up 345 spots from ranked 1,000 to 662. There's a belief that he may continue to climb in the recruiting rankings. Why isn't it playing? he's going to continue to climb in the recruiting rankings. You'll see in his huddle tape, the biggest question mark for me, John, is you'll notice he doesn't get touched. He just runs straight lines. Now, it's easy to see someone break away. Sure, he's got speed, right? But what do you do when the box is full? When you got to break a tackle? That's the biggest question marks for me, because you'll see throughout this entire huddle tape, it's similar to Micah Capana's huddle tape in the sense of a lot of open lanes and just taking it to the house, like right here. Like he just finds the lane, he breaks it, and that's his huddle tape is full of that. So, but good to see him get some recognition in the rankings. Another player I want to talk about is Jalen Pyle, bro. He dropped 541 spots.
Wild.
I think that's crazy. He is now ranked 1,443. That is fucking criminal. That's crazy. He is not ranked in. He was in the 500s. I think he's in the composite 500s. He was ranked 902, which is insane. He really should be, in my opinion, a 300 level player. It's just something. But on a positive note, we have Matt Ludwig. Okay, Ludwig, he dropped, which is interesting. He dropped from 129 to 156. That's interesting because other services have him in the top 100. Very interesting to see. But Bear McWhirter, who we had on the show, John, Bear McWhirter moved up 101 spots. But what's insane is he's still ranked 477. Titan Davis moved up 2 more spots, so he's now ranked 103, which is good. I mean, that defensive line is just absolutely nasty with Meadows, Walker, Titan Davis, Vallejo, Mikhail Blade, which is going to be very interesting to watch. Tariq Bonney moved up 65 spots. He's one with the Under Armour All-American ranking. And then Dorian Barney dropped 39, but Andre Clark moved up 38. So it's very interesting to watch. See, what's interesting is they have Andre Clark ranked 147 now. But they have Dorian Barney, who I would argue is the better corner. Personally. They have him 238. So it's just very interesting to watch how these ranking services operate. But end of the day, a lot of players on Michigan's recruiting class did get recognition and identified. But then you have your ones where they were obviously, I would argue, disrespected. Jalen Pyle. I should reach out to him and see what he thinks about that. I mean, I'm sure I know, but I mean,
just add it to the chip on his shoulder, and he'll I'm sure he's going to use it to get better, to just improve.
1,400. That's
crazy.
Insane, dude. That he's not that is. I don't know. I almost feel like that's some spiteful. It's something there. Maybe there's something more going on. I don't know. That just doesn't seem right. He really should not. I don't understand. I actually feel bad now that I didn't realize it was that bad until I just looked at it. That's crazy to me.
Yeah. And I was reading some of the analysis of why, and so apparently it had something to do with, he tends to focus on short to medium range. But I still just don't. I mean, that's a big drop. And that's the only rationale I was finding. So just more long balls, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, dude, he's 6'1", has good size, runs good routes, strong hands. He plays in Texas. Yes, he's in the private school division, but even in the camps, he's going against the best competition. He's showing out. He's playing well in the 7-on-7 circuit. It is what it is. I mean, the beauty of this NIL era for Michigan is, yes, they're going after top talent, right? But they also are. But what's beautiful, and for the fans of Michigan who are like, man, I love the 3-star developmental gems that Michigan is known for finding. They're still finding. The beauty of it is they're getting this higher level talent, but they're also still uncovering these diamonds. Jalen Pyle is one of those diamonds. Markel Dabney, Tariq Bonney, etc. So it's Mason Bonner. He doesn't do camps. He's just very athletically gifted. So I think Michigan is in a very good place in identifying talent. Now, again, now you got to develop them. But the good news is Michigan's known for developing them. I think, like, again, I've said it, and I'll say it again. Although I will say I might be sounding a bit repetitive, but I just think the program is in such a healthy position right now, and it's exciting to be a fan of the program.
Absolute facts. Let's see here. We got a couple more commentaries. So we've got Buzz Buser who's now a member for 2 months saying "Go Blue" and "Suck it, Ohio." Absolutely. And Buzz follows it up with a super chat. "Suck it, Ohio. Glad we got Meadows."
Yes, we did, and we beat Ohio and Penn State for Meadows. So that was a big win, man. Big win.
Facts. And then we got Marmar, member for 7 months. Thank you for that. Just want to say love you guys and go blue. Marmar, you're always part of the family here, and we appreciate you.
Yeah, I love you too, bro. Stay strong, my friend. Stay strong. But yeah, go blue, brother.
All right. I am very excited for this next one. This next topic is interesting because it is one of somebody who has filmed a video for us, somebody who we have kind of been following, and it's a fascinating tale. The tale of Michigan staffer, former Michigan staffer Connor Stalions. We had the documentary, we had all the stuff coming out, and now he is on X talking to Buckeye. What's his name? DPH Buckeyes on X. So let's go to this. And my favorite thing that he said in this whole chain is, to be tipped off that your next opponent is good at stealing signals is like saying you were tipped off that you had an upcoming game, right? And then he kind of goes in. I'm not going to read all of this, but you definitely can. It's kind of like a small version of the manifesto, the amount of that's in this. But essentially just correlating signals to wins and losses at Michigan. He finds it funny, and he talks about the fundamentals being the reason that Michigan won the games that they won. So yeah, I think that's really interesting. To be tipped off that your next opponent is good at stealing signals is like being tipped off that you had an upcoming game. I guess he's saying there, stealing signals is a thing that every major program that has an operation to do so.
Yeah, and so let's also like preface, like, where did this stem from? Where did this come from, right? And what it came from is these Sonny Dykes comments have resurfaced after being, it's literally like every 2 months, 2 to 3 months, this stuff comes up where Sonny Dykes was talking about, oh, we were tipped off. Rumor has it was Ohio State that reached out to TCU. I don't know, but that's the rumor, right? So, they were kind of given that, like, oh, Michigan's known for like knowing the hand signs. They know it. So TCU had a month to prepare, blah, blah, blah. And what the rivals like to use, especially Valeni here in Detroit, who's a fucking clown show sometimes. He knows the sports, though. I'll give him that. Like, he's a very strong mind in discussing sports, but his biases show through, and he, no question, has a bit of shock jock to him. But regardless, the point being is, Connor Stalions essentially countered the position that, this isn't happening in college. And he also says he would like to go in even more, but to John's point, he gave a lot of detail. But until the investigation is over, he cannot comment further or, go into too much detail, which is why I'm excited for this investigation to be over. Because, and by the way, John, we're approaching, that should be coming within the next, I would say, 2 to 4 weeks. I don't know, roughly. Yeah. So long story short, though, I feel that the college football world, especially for the rivals and the ones who want to hang on to it, they are working to make this more than it is. And what I mean by that is, it wasn't just Michigan deciphering signals. And we understand, okay, well, then it's the advanced scouting that's the problem. There's a strong belief that Michigan was not the only one sending people to games, and it wasn't. And then we get into the gray area. Now I'm walking down a path, John. It wasn't Michigan staffers. It was friends and family. So then how does, so we're going to figure out how the NCAA handles that. Right. But end of the day, the moral of the story is everybody is taking people's signs. It's just to what degree. And even to the point of the extreme degree, there's a strong belief, especially in Ann Arbor circles, Michigan wasn't the only one doing things that they were doing. It's just the reality is Connor Stalions, and I made a comment today, and John, I'll let you respond before I go in on some people, because I'm gonna make some shit public, but and the people I'm going to mention, you have every right to counter publicly. I'm down to go to war over it, but so I mean, I guess John, if you want to give your take on it, and then I'll follow up. But the point being is, Connor Stalions is the MJ of this. He's the Michael Jordan of sign deciphering, and he was just better at it than everybody else. And he was very enthusiastic. But John, what's your take on it? Then I'll follow up with mine.
We need to embrace a few things. We need to embrace the fact that, number one, that sign stealing is everywhere. Every major program has sign stealers. Ohio State has sign stealers. Okay, everybody's sign stealers. I'm willing to admit, obviously, that the Venmoing, the hey, let's Venmo people and have the public name attached. Not the brightest idea.
I know. Come on, Connor.
Not the brightest idea. But at his core, and I have the belief that he genuinely loves Michigan, and he was trying to help Michigan get to the level that Ohio State and others were at, because Michigan was way behind in this operation versus Ohio State versus some of the SEC programs. And that's why he took it upon himself to try to get ahead. And he we don't know yet, because we still haven't heard anything, if he even broke a bylaw. So we're still waiting on that. Did he break a bylaw? And then obviously we're waiting on what the punishment is going to be. But at the end of the day, he is somebody that I think at his core just loved Michigan, and he did what he could. And whether he got a little overzealous, that's up for debate. But that's where I'm at.
Right. And and to your point, John, and Connor has explained it very well. The reality of the sign stealing is a game called cat and mouse, right? They know your signs, you know their signs. It's who can counter at the before the ball is hiked, who's willing to let the play clock run a little bit. To Connor's point, if you want to avoid sign stealing, just huddle up.
Yeah.
Just huddle up. You can avoid it, but you didn't. Mm-hmm. You don't want to. And the reason why is because all schools are looking at each other's signs. Now, again, I understand there's a Buckeye watcher, and I'm sure there's like 30. And they're like, it's everyone's course, but it's the advanced sign stealing. Okay. And then that brings me to my next point. Hello, Rutgers. Hello, Ohio State. Hello, Illinois. Where you're passing along a fucking Excel sheet from your professional sign stealers who are in-person scouting on the sideline. Oh, I'm sorry. There wasn't a phone. There wasn't a camera. There wasn't a camera in the stands. You're on the sideline. You have the best code breakers in college football, deciphering signs, passing an Excel sheet amongst teams. That is in-person scouting. Shut up. You're a baby back bitch. Don't be a baby back bitch. Own your fucking shit. So that's just what that is there. But what I wanted to hit on also, John, because I want to make this very clear, and I'm sure this will be heard. And this is all like, listen, dude, Garrison's my boy. He is my boy. I'm going to take a shot at him slightly. I'm just going to bring attention to a post he made, because he would do the same to me, I'm sure. And then I'm going to point out somebody else. Again, not really a shot, but I'm going to explain something that for some reason they're not grasping. And they may watch this, they may not. But at the end of the day, I don't care, because I think this is important for those who cannot comprehend why there's a question amongst the rivals or fan bases who are not fans of Michigan. And there's even people within Michigan, there are, who are disgusted with Connor and want nothing to do with Connor. And he's a black eye around the program. And how can you be a fan of him? And how can you support him? Or blah, blah, blah. Okay. I hear your argument. Here's why I disagree. Here's why we on this channel embrace Connor Stalions in terms, and what I mean by embrace, I mean the myth, the lore, the fun of it. Like, stop taking shit so fucking serious all the time. It's college football. This isn't life or death. But secondly, because Connor Stalions is an embodiment of a diehard Michigan fan who was willing to do what it took to make Michigan as great as it possibly could. The difference between most fans and Connor Stalions is most fans watch from TV or watch from their phone, and they're willing to give everything to Michigan, all their energy, every ounce. They just love their team. They're willing to live and die. Connor Stalions is willing to wake up every effing day at like 5 a.m, drive to do all the extras for Michigan to win. Literally built a Michigan manifesto. But what I want to share here, John, is a post by Garrison. Again, friend of mine, Garrison. And he made a post that says, most real Michigan men don't like Connor Stalions, such as Rich Eisen, who's an alum, John Jansen, ex-player. Watch the video. We won't play the video out of copyright purposes.
Yeah.
I wish I could, because I would. They believe him to actually be a stain on the program and wish his name was never uttered in the same sentence as Michigan Wolverines, or as Rich Eisen would call it, an embarrassment. Yet there is a section of their fan base that calls Buckeye fans wrong for pointing out how weird they are about him and, Stalions. All right. So we are, many of us on this channel, and I countered here, but JR, who has his own podcast, does his own thing, which, I respect. He, listen, homie, he knows ball, and
I've been on his show.
I respect him as a content creator. I have no issues with him, but you better believe I will challenge him here. He says, I will never understand why more Michigan fans don't feel this way. If what this is a fucking insane comment. If what he did really didn't impact things like they say, they should want nothing to do with him. All he does is tarnish their accomplishments. If what he did really didn't impact, well, let's say hypothetically it did impact what they said. Should we still want nothing to do with him? Like, this is just an insane comment to me. Anyways, what they fail to grasp, and what I said here, in my opinion, chat, let me know if I'm wrong, but I feel I'm not wrong. The reason why a portion, not all, Michigan fans like Stalions or embrace the Connor Stalions lore is because he was 100% committed to his craft. He loves Michigan. He was a fan who chased his dream and dedicated every second to it. Literally went to freaking, West Point? Because he wanted to follow the great coaches. So he could become what? One of the next great Michigan coaches. Literally wanted to build Michigan into a dynasty. So the reason why I like Connor Stalions is because I honestly believe he is one of us. He is a diehard fan. The only difference is he was willing to do more. And I don't mean push the limits in terms of the rule book. I mean, he was literally willing for his entire career path to be about fully building Michigan into an Alabama is what he wanted to do, during the Nick Saban era. So, the thing for me, John, is how the hell could you hate somebody because they gave it fucking everything they had? And yes, I fully believe Connor, and I'm excited to see, I cannot wait for Connor Stalions to completely, once this investigation is over, be able to talk more freely about it. But what I believe Connor Stalions really did, and John, we've talked about it, you've brought this point up as well. We believe he felt there was a loophole in the rule book because Connor Stalions read it 10 fucking times. And he was like, you know what? I can send people who are not a part of Michigan staff to these games, and I can get that extra footage, that extra 1 degree, the 1 degree that separates good from great. The difference between hot and boiling is 1 degree. That 1 degree I can get to make Michigan that much better because he literally eat, breathed, and shit that shit, bro. He was obsessed with Michigan. And how the hell can I fault somebody? I am a big, and I'm sure there's a lot of people who agree with me. I am a big fan of people who are obsessive to their craft, okay?
Mm-hmm.
In terms of chess, Magnus Carlsen, big fan. Kobe Bryant, big fan. Tiger Woods, loved what he was doing, okay? I love the individuals who are so obsessive with what they do. Like David I'm a fan of David Goggins. Some people might not like David Goggins, but he is so obsessive in his craft. Jocko Willink, I'm a fan of that. And Connor Stalions, in my opinion, fits that archetype of just an individual who is obsessive with their craft. How the hell can I hate somebody? Yes, he did push a gray area. Fully acknowledge that. But no. And then what people want to also say, John, and I know I've been running here. And Mike Valeni on 97.1, he made this point. Well, if Michigan, if Connor Stalions wasn't the reason you were winning, or, like his point is, well, the reason why Michigan was getting the results they were getting is because of Connor Stalions. My rebuttal is, then what happened when it was publicly known before the Michigan State game, and then Michigan goes on a run and defeats Michigan State, Purdue, Ohio State, Maryland, Iowa, or Purdue. Who's in the Big Ten title game that year? I think it was Purdue. And then what was it? Alabama and Washington. Michigan steamrolled them all.
Yeah.
Penn State. Let's not forget Penn State. Beautiful game. End of the day, dude, Michigan won because they were the better effing team. They out physicaled everybody. They had the best team with the best talent. It's not a coincidence. Michigan had 13 players drafted that year, one short of the record. I mean, the reality is that was an elite team, one of the best teams in the last 15 years of college football. And it just so happened that they had an elite code breaker who did push the limits. But guess what? Just as Michigan, I'm done here, John. I know I'm going. Just as Michigan had the signs of other schools, so did other schools have the signs of Michigan. You don't think that Excel sheet had the signs of Michigan's for Rutgers, Illinois, and Ohio State? Of course it did, but we were better at it than them. And that's why their fan bases are fucking butthurt, crybaby ass bitches. And I am specifically talking about the Buckeyes and Sparties. I am done, John. Please take the next run here.
Listen, what you said about Michigan straight up being the better team, I think is the big take home point there. And if you want, for those Buckeyes watching, Mark Rogers and I broke down the entire 2021 Michigan Ohio State game, and we stopped and we pointed out every where I said, now, what did Connor Stalions do here? And what did Connor Stalions do here when Haskins was running up the middle? And I was literally like, and Mark was like, yeah, I don't really, so Mark and I broke it down and I pointed out, well, what did Connor Stalions have to do with this one? Because I'm just so tired of the narrative that what he did impacted the results to any ridiculous degree. Could there have been, maybe I could give it a point or two in some games, but it is not a major impact on these wins, which were 42-27, 45-23, right? Impossible. And then Michigan had the run after Connor Stalions left. Michigan had the run starting with the Michigan State game onwards in 2023, all wins, undefeated the rest of that season. No Connor Stalions. Everyone was huddling. Everyone was doing check with me. Nick Saban changed his signs. Ryan Day changed his signs. So any small advantage was neutralized to the point that the president of the entire freaking NCAA said that there was no Michigan won fair and square. Period.
So look at this shit, John. We now have Buckeyes, and if Max in the comments, he knows we've talked about this. Let's pull Moose's comment down. So check this out, John. You have the rivals, okay? Yeah. Building graphic presentations, explaining the consequences of what Connor Stalions was. Draft stock manipulation, John. Some players looked better versus opponents who didn't know plays were coming. Others looked worse on tape versus Michigan, potentially hurting their stock. Example, Stroud's legacy may have been hinged on the Georgia game. He almost never got that shot. You got to be kidding. The recruiting impact, John. Winning and momentum. Recruits gravitate to teams with college football runs and inflated success. Yeah? Well, how's our number 7 class doing where we went fucking 8-5 and didn't make the playoffs, you dumb mother... I swear to God, these fans, bro. How's Texas Tech doing? Anyways, roster retention. Players may stay longer or skip the portal to ride success built on a rigged system. You mean like the Buckeyes?
You're right.
Fucking clown. Injury risk. Knowing an opponent's plays creates targeting opportunities, John. How about the targeting in the TCU game they didn't call?
Yeah.
Roman Wilson?
Okay. Yeah, and how many missed targetings and PIs and everything else that Ohio State committed on Michigan. Oh,
that was John. Okay. Well, moral of the story is these Buckeyes are effing nuts, boys. Oh, you're back?
Yeah. Yeah, gold star on the arts and crafts project.
Hey, you know what? I give them an A for effort, but you're fucking crazy. It's the effort that counts sometimes, John. I can admire effort, but you're fucking crazy. Like, we're going to assume injury risks were higher because he knew the plays. Like, bro.
Well, Dick Buck is not taking this lying down. Dick Buck has submitted a $1.99 super chat to respond back. OHNO. You all know what you did. Just own it. BIG versus World.
With a jail to the victors avatar. But look, man, me and John and we are not denying there was advanced scouting.
Mm-hmm.
We are not denying that Connor Stalions had family members and friends go to games.
Correct.
Our position is, and this is what is very critical, Connor Stalions was a lone wolf where the coaching staff was not aware. For example, Harbaugh, which everyone wants to put it on Harbaugh, which, by the way, you got your wish. Harbaugh's in the NFL now.
Yeah.
But, you got your wish. Now you want the NCAA to do your bidding because you already know you're about to get L number 5. But, the reality is, sure, yes, there was some gray area here. But at the end of the day, it was Connor Stalions acting alone. It wasn't some grand scheme that Michigan had to get over on everybody. It was just somebody who excelled so great at their job, like a Barry fucking Bonds, taking a little juice. See, Connor Stalions was an elite, a code breaker, okay? But by sending people to games, he got a little bit greater, okay? Just like Barry Bonds, who's going to go to the Hall of Fame, who just happened to become like the greatest player ever after he was taking some juice. That's just what it is. He was still great. Michigan was still great. And last point too, John. And then after Connor Stalions, right? We still went out a run and won the fucking natty. And you had your chance to stop us and you didn't. So take your L, brother. Take your L.
Yeah. Ryan Day changed the signs in 2022 and in 2023. It didn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. That's right, John. You're right. They did. They changed their signs. How'd it go? Can I get a scoreboard?
Yeah, 45-27, 45-23, and then 30-24. So
yeah. I mean, the reality is, I'm gonna be honest, Buckeyes. I'd have so much more respect for your fan base if you just owned your shit. Just own it. Be like, you know what? And you know who did? Zach Smith. Shout out to Zach Smith. If we had that clip, I'd play it. Where he's like, you know what, guys? It's not the signs. They just beat us because we did. Just own it. Accept it. Be like, you know what? Michigan got the better of us. We still won our natty. You won a natty, boys. You won a natty.
Yeah. Zach said, yeah. I mean, in 2023 and then in 2024, he said, the sign stealing narrative is dead. So after the 2024 13-10 game, yeah, that's dead now.
At the end of the day, stop making excuses and just own your fucking shit. The reality is you're just not beating Michigan. You all know you had a terrible game plan when you played us last game. Every Ohio State fan will admit running up the A gap against Kenneth Grant and Mason Graham is absolutely stupid. It is, but it happened. Okay, so just own it, accept it, and be like, you know what? The boys are going to come back next year, and we're going to try and get that W, because that's all you can say right now. That's all you can say, and that's okay. But at the end of the day, just own it and stop making excuses, because that's the worst part of your fan base is you guys cannot take accountability with that shit.
GT with the 5. Buckeye Scoop and Spyro's new slogan, respect and credibility, are great, but it doesn't pay the bills. Oh, there you go. GT is on it again.
He ain't wrong.
Not wrong.
I will say this, though. Spyro, he made a video recently. I don't know how long it took him to make that video, but it was well done. It was a very good the one with Steve Dace. That was hilarious. I laughed my ass off watching that video.
Haven't seen it. I'll check it out. Wolverine, not so casual with the 10. Advanced scouting postseason opponents is legal. Ohio State asked if they could do this in 2022. Georgia was asked if they did and said they did not, decided it wasn't worth it. So overblown.
Well, remember when Michigan was in the playoffs and they had those tablets and like, oh, we're not using the tablet. Well, not Michigan, but the other teams were like, oh, we're not using the tablets. Didn't matter. Didn't matter. Michigan still won. People got to just accept that team was fucking good, bro. Like, it's amazing to me that, I mean, I guess it's not. It's to be expected. Rivals are typically never going to acknowledge the other rivals' greatness. Like, I do acknowledge how good that playoff run was. It was not the greatest run in all time, you mother, but it was definitely an elite run. You guys played great and you dominated. And let's also be honest, the defensive schemes that these teams played against you guys in that playoffs were just dumb. You know, like what Tennessee tried doing was mind blowing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, listen, I think as far as this subject, I feel like we've kind of said our piece, and the bottom line is just watch what happened at the end of 23, and then watch what happened when Michigan with Davis Warren and a running back and a defense goes into Columbus and wins the game anyway to the future against the future national champions, and then goes and beats Alabama's first string. And this is now a year and a half after Connor Stalions. So all I'm saying is Michigan has really good talent, good players, good coaching. And the other evidence that this is a nothing burger is that you can also go watch the Los Angeles Chargers go from five wins to the playoffs with Jim Harbaugh and Jesse Minter. You can go watch the Seahawks, who improved with Mike McDonald. So like these are coaches which went on to the NFL and continued to win without anything related to Connor Stalions. Because guess what? In the NFL, they all have radios in the headsets.
Exactly, John. And what's what's also interesting, John? I'm gonna share this, John. Look at this. Who led the league in points a game defensively? Was it Jesse Minter's defense, John?
Looks like it.
Oh, wait a minute. Was Connor Stalions helping, or was he fucking elite? That it's just disgusting. Like it just amazes me the clownery of that fan base sometimes, man.
Yeah, Jesse Minter and Jesse Minter and Junior Colson on that team.
That's right. That's right. And then where's Seattle? Where's Seattle? Another very good defense in the freaking NFL, dude. I mean, it's just amazing, John. It's just amazing. It's amazing that these people cannot acknowledge reality.
Absolutely.
You know? Like you have coaches who literally jump to the next level. The one homie, Urban Meyer could not handle. How'd Urban Meyer do in the NFL, John? Was he using signs? No, he was buying fucking players, you clowns. Damn, the stupidity is just, it makes me sick. You know, and like I would attack the Sparties more, but they're under rocks and they're hiding. You know, but like the reality is, you want to know why Urban Meyer was so great? Because he was cheating his entire fucking career. And then he gets to the NFL and he gets exposed. And then Jim Harbaugh, Jesse Minter, and Mike McDonald get to the NFL and they thrive. Why? Because they're good coaches. What the fuck, bro? It's wild, bro. I could go
Yeah,
on this all day.
Urban Meyer. What did he didn't he go like 2 wins and 14 losses or something crazy like that? And or 3-14. I mean, I know he had a lot of losses that year, and not counting the off the field issues, but he did have a lot of losses. Jim Harbaugh goes, and Jim Harbaugh's done this now twice, where he went to the 49ers and turned that franchise around.
Yep.
He was in San Diego. He turned San Diego around. He went to Stanford, turned Stanford around. He went to Michigan.
Huh. Won a natty?
Yeah.
It's fucking clown shit, bro. It's like, let me tell you something. If you're falling for this shit, this is why you fall for shit in the world too. The political game and shit. This is why you fucking fall for those bullshit. Because you can't think for yourself. You're so tribal, man. Just fucking chill, remain neutral, objective, and just observe and gather information. Quit jumping to fucking conclusions. Analyze the data and wait before you draw conclusions. I mean, it's wild to me, man.
I wanted to highlight this comment because I think it's a really cool comment. And so Johnny James, enjoying the show like always. Keep doing good things. I'm always here, just never speak. Johnny, thank you for showing up and watching the show. I don't care how people watch it. I don't care what they do. As long as they're checking us out and they're hanging out, it doesn't matter. And I'm so glad you watch.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for commenting, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for letting us know.
Absolutely. Johnny Olden, of course, also saying it was the greatest run ever in sports.
The greatest until next season when everyone does the same effing thing where everyone's a top 10 team. The hell are we doing? What are we doing, John?
Yeah, losing to Michigan and Oregon is the greatest run ever in sports. It's hilarious.
So glad I'm not a Buckeye.
Matt Miller with the $4.99, host of our Texas show over there. Remember, if you lost a commit, it's because of NIL. If you win it, it's because of relationships. Yeah. Is 475 tackles in 40 games good? TJ knows what I mean.
Yeah, so Matt Miller got into it with a Buckeye today because a Buckeye tried arguing with him. What they do in high school doesn't matter. Essentially, even if you're if you're good in high school, it doesn't matter. Wait till they get to college. Well, and to Matt Miller's point, this is how kids get ranked. Production in high school, obviously camp testing, film, etc. But yeah, I mean, so listen, Matt Miller lives in Ohio. He deals with these Buckeyes on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, and obviously with the bit, I'm excited to see the content when he chops it up with the Buckeyes. Given that the first game of the year is Texas, Ohio State, that's their first games. I can't wait to see the trash talk. And I told the Texas mascot when I was in Austin, I said you gotta beat the Buckeyes. It's fun. And Hookem, he agreed, and so we had an understanding there in Austin that they're gonna go and they're gonna try to beat the Buckeyes and make it happen. So we had an understanding in February about this.
Yeah, I really need that Texas win against Ohio State. I need it.
Michigander asking, how can I call in on Thursday? So we do the Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern call-in show.
Yep. So there will be a URL link in the description. I will also drop one in the chat. Call in, first-time callers. I love first-time callers. If you have not called in, you thought about calling in, call in. Let's talk ball. When the lines get a little crowded, my intent is to get more strict on the 5-minute rule so we can get our callers kind of going. Mm-hmm. It's great to talk to the new callers and everybody, and looking forward to it. Season is approaching, guys. Fall camp is literally 2.5 weeks away, so be on the lookout.
Yeah, we're gonna start talking about some content, what's going on in camp. We'll have it. We'll do some new rosters and some new position group breakdowns, and we'll start obviously in the when we start getting closer to the season, we will try to once again have a guest. So we will try to have a guest. I think I was 11 for 12 last season. We're going to try to have a media guest for every single every single team that Michigan faces, maybe two. And those are always some of my favorite conversations because you get to hear about players, you get to hear about teams that you just don't hear about a lot of other times when you're watching Michigan content. So I think gives you that perspective, of what's out there in college football.
Yeah, definitely. And like, look, I listen, when we do those, I'm learning from the people we're interviewing with, because it's good to know. I want to know when we're going against a matchup, whether it be Oklahoma or whoever, let me know what I need to look for, because, and I'll tell you what, I've literally have taken that information we've gotten on those previews, those game previews, and I'm looking for that player that they sense we should look out for on offense or defense. Yeah, they're very valuable, and I'm looking forward to doing those again.
For sure. So everybody check out the Michigan Wolverines call-in show with TJ and Johnny Olden Jr. every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. It was very fun. What was it? 2 weeks ago that I came by and hung out. And so every now and then I'll pop in and say hi. But it's always a great time. And I love hearing from the community and everybody chopping it up.
Yeah, man, it's the community. It's what we have now is very unique. It's very unique. It's its own thing now. So I'm very proud of it. And let's keep going, man. I think we're about to have a hell of a season in terms of the channel, the community. I do think there's gonna be some highs and some lows this season. I don't think we're going to. I assure you, there's gonna be a game or two where we are frustrated. Okay, but. It should be a good year with a lot of positives. So I'm looking forward to it, man.
Absolutely. And of course, check us out on X, TJ_Ronin, and at John D'Adamo. Check us out there for all of our football takes throughout the week. If you are a member, we'll have our members only stream coming up Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Very likely we'll make sure that works. But Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern is usually our at the third Monday of every month. We're gonna get back to that. And so look out for the video. You should actually be able to bookmark it now, even if you're a member. So $4.99 level and $9.99 level get access to the members only streams.
Thank you.
All right. And with that said, that's going to do it for tonight. We're going to, as we have been.
No, time out. Shit. Okay, time out. So we have to do, my bad. Okay. So we have to, sorry, Jen, I'm going to pop this on you, but I think we're all on the same page here. So our friend Kinetic has a jersey auction that is going on right now. I want to make sure we promote this. So right here, if you guys want to, a friend of the program, Micah Capana, signed jersey, guys. Currently one bid, I believe, at $100. The bidding ends Monday, 8 p.m. There's 5 days and 23 hours. I will put the link in the chat if you guys are interested in the Micah Capana jersey. Check it out. It's in there. This is for Kinetic's GoFundMe. As you know, he is going through some health challenges along with his mother. All love to them and good energy. If you guys want to know more about Kinetic's story, check him out on Twitter. His GoFundMe is pinned to his page, and you guys can learn more there. But if you're interested in the Micah Capana jersey and is confirmed by his father, Kioki, who's a fan of not a fan, but part of the family of the show, he has confirmed that it is a Micah Capana jersey. So if you guys are interested in this signed jersey, and I'll show you, here's the signature here, right there, go blue. You guys can win this awesome stitched jersey. So if you guys want it, the bidding, there's 5 days left. Let's see if we can help support our friend here.
Go get you a Micah jersey and go bid on that. The link is in the chat. All right. With that said, thank you to Moose and Ralph for saying like and subscribe on the way out. Please do. Means a lot. Even just the hitting the like button, anything is so awesome. And thanks to everybody who contributed. Thanks to everybody who showed up. Thanks to everybody who just watched, didn't chat, but just watched. Like the one guy, he said that's what he usually does. whatever you want to do. We're just glad you're here. So until next time, we're gonna end with a note from Mark Rogers, voice of college football, as we have been. Until next time, go blue, and we'll see you soon.
You can make a difference here at the Voice of College Football. Use the Amazon link. Financially contribute to the Voice of College Football without spending a penny. Same shopping experience. It's easy. Go to any video on any channel. Go to the description section and grab the link right next to the capital letters that say Amazon. Use that link, and Amazon will instantaneously convert to your account, settings, history, everything intact, just like whatever link you use right now. No difference. Pay no attention to the product that you see right there. Just go search what you want. Don't forget the Amazon link. Thank you for your support. Sincerely, the Voice of College Football.